Welcome to 15 Minute Theatre, the only review show that squeezes a whole production into 900 seconds. The date is Tuesday the 25th of February 2020 and we've just been to see Endgame. Open the house. Hello Vicky.
Hello James.
How are we today?
All right, thanks. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you.
Oh, how lovely.
So we had a nice time at the theatre, didn't we?
Oh, we had a lovely time.
Do you know what? I love going to the Old Vic.
It's a lovely place.
I think it's one of my favourite theatre destinations.
Since they've improved the toilet situation, it is much better.
Are they unisex now?
Yeah, but one of them just has cubicles and one of them has urinals in it. So all the ladies still go to the cubicle side and the guys still go to... Because, I mean, they're unisex, but ladies can't use urinals unless they have a sheepy. I won't go into that now.
Great. All right, so shall I give you some information about Endgame?
Oh, please do.
Okay, it was written by Samuel Beckett.
Yes.
It was directed by Richard Jones. The set and costume were by Stuart Lang. And there were only 4 actors, so I'm going to read them all out.
4 actors?
I think you might have heard of some of these people.
Really?
Vicky. Alan Cumming.
Is it Cummings? Yeah.
Hadn't finished.
Yeah.
Daniel Radcliffe.
Get out of town.
Jane Horrocks.
What?
And Carl Johnson.
What?
Mm-hmm. And it's at the Old Vic, as we've said, and it's running until March the 28th, 2020, and it's 2 hours and 15 minutes, including that all-important interval, although I think it's a little longer than that.
Well, I'm not sure, but do you know, why is it 2 hours and 15 minutes?
Because there are actually 2 plays.
Yes.
So the first is about half an hour long, and it was called Rough for Theatre 2.
Yes.
And then there was an interval.
Yep.
And then we went in for Endgame.
It was about an hour and a half, I reckon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, brilliant. So, Vicky, can you give us a little synopsis of both, please?
It's quite hard, isn't it? So...
Why is it hard?
Because there's not explicit sort of references to the scenarios, if that makes sense. So the first one is 2 people who are possibly deaf. There's a man contemplating jumping from a window, and they basically come in and sort of judge him, sum him up, look at his past, look at some letters that he's written, and I think they're deciding whether to let him jump or not, but it's never explicitly made clear.
Yeah. Well, let's start with that one, shall we?
Yes.
And then we'll go on to Endgame.
Okay.
Did you enjoy it?
Yes.
Yeah, me too. I liked it. I mean, the thing with... I'd never seen Endgame. I knew Endgame because we studied it at university.
We did, didn't we?
Yeah. But I didn't know this other one. And it's very hard because it's so surreal.
Yeah.
That you're trying to cling to a story, and there is kind of a story and there is meaning there. I wouldn't say it's Dadaist.
Yeah. It's a lot of... He's into dialogue, isn't he, Beckett?
Yeah.
It's just a lot of talking.
And I'm into dialogue. I like dialogue.
You like dialogue?
I do.
Oh, that's good.
So it had a real resonance of like a Morecambe and Wise sketch.
Yeah. One of them was sort of more into the other one.
Yeah.
Was trying to sit on his lap. The other one wasn't interested.
Yeah, which is quite funny. And there was this whole thing going on about the lights.
Yeah.
Going on and
They
off.
each had a desk with a light.
Yeah.
And
how long did it take you to understand kind of what was going on?
I'm not sure.
It took me about half the play, I think, to realise, oh, this man looks like he's about to jump, and oh, they're in death's waiting room or something.
Yeah.
But it kind of highlighted, what's it called, red tape, and all, living in a society where everything has to be recorded, written down 3 times in triplicate and all that kind of stuff, which I thought was interesting.
It was good, I enjoyed it.
What about the set?
The set, well, obviously it was sort of it was right at the front of the stage because it was, I guess, in front of the set behind it. I don't really understand how they did it all.
Well, they moved it forward, didn't they? I think they moved both of them forward.
Yeah.
But you kind of embarrassed yourself a bit, didn't you?
Why?
Because, you thought that the man who was going to jump was actually a real man. And
He looked like a real man, didn't
I know,
he?
but there was no way he could have stood like that for half an hour.
He must have been quite in pain. So there was a man standing in a window, and then there was a room. It just had 2 desks with lamps on and a bird cage, and that was about it, really, wasn't it?
Yeah. I can't remember what they were wearing because it was
suits, weren't they?
Yeah, I think so. It's a couple of. Don't remember what they were wearing for that bit. I remember the second one. Anyway, I think that's all we really have to say about that one.
Yeah, it was good though. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I enjoyed it a lot. And then obviously we had the interval, and we came back for Endgame.
Yes.
What did you think?
I have seen this before. I saw it with Michael Gambon.
I think it's pronounced Jambon.
Michael Jambon. So am I giving you a synopsis? Is that what I'm doing?
Yes, please.
I've got a bit of track in my brain then. So Endgame basically is set in a post-apocalyptic world.
Yeah.
Where I'm trying to remember all their names. The main guy.
Is it Ham and Clegg?
Ham and Clove. Oh, so the main guy's Ham. So Ham has a house, and he invited a man and his son to come and live with him because they had no food and they were starving, and he had this house and had some food. The man is now no longer with us, but his son Clove now works for Ham.
Kind of like a manservant.
Yeah, so Ham is in a wheelchair and can't go anywhere. Clove can walk, but with difficulty. But he basically looks after everyone. And then he has his 2 parents are in dustbins.
Yeah.
Which is never... You never know why.
Although they kind of went into a little detail about how they lost their legs and stuff and things like that. But I don't think that's the reason why to put them into dustbins.
So they're in the same... So it's all based in one room. Ham's sort of sitting there in his wheelchair. Parents are in the dustbins. They pop up a little bit. And Clove sort of basically goes in between that room and the kitchen.
Yeah.
And they have sort of quite fractious relationships.
So what I love about Beckett is although it seems like a bit of nonsense, there's enough there to allow you to link and try and make sense of it. So for me, the parents are they're in the dustbins because they're from the past of society. There's no use for them anymore, and they're on their way out. I just really enjoy it. I really enjoyed it a lot.
Yeah, they're all sort of stuck in their own worlds, aren't they? And they can't go anywhere, and they do the same things every day. And it's Ham is very needy.
Yeah,
he's constantly needs attention and won't let Clove sort of go and do his business. And Clove doesn't want to be there. He's fed up.
Yeah.
It's just again, it's the dialogue is so clever. It's so well written.
Yeah.
And I was surprised that Daniel Radcliffe, Alan Cummings was absolutely brilliant.
Yeah,
I think he stole the show.
This is a funny play.
Yeah, it is funny, and I think he made it particularly funny the way he played it.
Yeah, I think the way it was staged and the way they performed it was brilliant. Hats off as well to Daniel Radcliffe.
I was amazed. I have never thought of him as being able to do physical comedy. But it's quite a physical role, wasn't it? And he actually was really good.
He was really good.
Yeah.
And it just shows what a versatile actor he was.
Because I don't want to start slagging off Harry Potter, but he's not my Harry Potter.
Is he not? Who's your Harry Potter?
I don't know. He just never really clicked for me.
Is it Kay Harker? Is he your Harry Potter?
I don't know who my Harry Potter is. But I was really genuinely...
That's controversial.
I know, but I was really genuinely quite surprised at how good he was.
Yeah, but like you say, I think Alan Cummings stole the show.
Oh, he was brilliant. And the parents were great.
Now let's talk about the parents. I did not know that was Jane Horrocks.
Yeah, she's made up to look quite old, isn't she?
Yeah, and it's only like a 10-minute performance, really. She's only in one scene.
She's in one scene. She's on the stage, for maybe like 10 minutes.
Yeah, that's good, isn't it?
I know. I wonder how much she's getting for that.
I know.
And the other guy, I have recently been watching Mum on the BBC iPlayer, and he's in that. And he's brilliant in it. And... yeah, he was really good. Everyone was really well cast.
Yeah, it was a very enjoyable. So the staging for that, it was like you kind of said, it was like a living room, but they had 2 windows which were quite high.
So they were underground. They were in a basement.
Right.
So the windows, I guess, would have been at like sort of street level.
But you had this stepladder where it was like tumbling up, and he had a particular way of coming down it, and
so Clove had to move the stepladder to look out the windows.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was great.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else? Any standout moments for you?
mean, it was almost like one scene, so
Yeah.
it's sort of hard to have a standout moment.
Yeah,
How about you?
No, I feel exactly the same. I think there was a bit where Alan Cummings was on his own on the stage giving a bit of a monologue.
Yeah.
I can't quite remember what it was about, but I remember really enjoying that bit.
Yeah. I
But,
quite like the dog.
oh, yeah.
We'll leave that as a little surprise.
All right, so shall we take a break and come back and score this, baby?
I need a break after all that.
Cool. All right, so audience antics. Well, we've discussed the new toilets.
Well, what I've realised is sometimes when you get the cheap seats,
Yeah.
that you also get the school.
Oh,
people.
yeah, it was your
The second time it's happened, isn't
kryptonite
it?
again. I saw your face drop as
There were
the
a lot
children came in.
There were so many teenagers in there, and I was a bit concerned. But
Because you were a bit like the child catcher from Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, weren't you?
But actually, they were really quiet, weren't
Yeah,
they?
they were really good.
Yeah.
And except for that massive teenager.
Oh, there was a big one.
Yeah, and then he came and sat behind us, didn't he?
For a bit, and
Yeah.
kicking my chair annoyed me. But that was only in the interval, so
Yeah,
I let
but
that
that
go.
was all right. Yeah.
But no, they were really well behaved. Yeah, it was. I've got nothing to complain about, really.
Good theatre. Good, and even those seats.
Yeah, we got
are
really
good.
cheap, like £12 seats.
But you could see it, and they were comfortable. Kind of. Your feet.
I
couldn't
was not
touch-
comfortable.
Your feet didn't touch the ground, did they?
And also, where they put the dustbins, they were right at the front of the stage and they were low down. I found it really difficult to see them. I
You
had
see,
to
I've
really
got a
lean
bit
over.
more height than you, so
Yeah.
I was all right with that. All right, I think we better score this, baby.
Okay.
All right, so Vicky, performances.
I'm going to say 10. Because Alan Cummings was so fantastic. I've never seen him in anything before. And I would definitely go and see him in something again.
Okay, I'm also going to give it 10.
Ooh.
Yeah, really, really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Okay, staging and technical, I'm going to give it a 10. I thought they used the stage really well. I thought the whole physicality and stuff was great.
The thing is, it was very simple, but I don't really know what else you could have done with it. Okay, I'll go for 10.
I think the reason I'm giving it a 10 is that you we weren't bored. There wasn't like you were craving for something else to look at or something to do.
I don't feel like I can take points off it.
Yeah. Narrative and plot.
I'm going for a 9.
Okay.
Oh no, I really like Samuel Beckett.
Well,
But okay, no, I'm going.
I
for
love
a 9.
Samuel Beckett, but I'm going to give it an 8.
Oh.
Yeah. Maybe I'm wrong.
Because it doesn't make sense.
Yeah, kind of, but then it does make sense. You know what? I'm going to change it. I'm going to give it a 9 because I really, really liked it.
Yeah.
Right, originality gets a 10 from me.
Yeah. Well, see, because I've seen it before.
Okay.
But they played.
Was it very different?
Yeah, it was. They
Was it
played.
very original?
They played the Alan Cummings part quite differently.
Okay.
I'm going to give it a 9.
All right. Costume.
I love what they did with Alan Cummings' costume.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, his legs are so thin.
Yeah.
It gets a 9 for me. I can't really criticise it.
I'll go for a 9 as well.
And was it worth it? It's a big fat 10 from me.
10 from me.
Wowzers.
10 from
Okay,
me.
good
Woo-hoo.
scorings. Okay, so while I add up these scores, do you want to tell the listener what we're going to see next?
Yeah, we are going to see City of Angels. I can't actually remember anything about it or why we booked it. Do you remember anything about it or why we booked it?
No.
So it's going to be a nice surprise.
But I did look online the other day, actually, and it's won loads of prizes across the water
Has
in
it?
Americas.
So there must have been a reason why we booked it.
I think that was the reason.
Was it?
I think so. I don't know. Anyway.
So who knows? But
What?
hopefully it's going to be great.
Yeah, I think so.
City of Angels play London. The Donmar's Olivia Award-winning production of City Angels has moved to the West End. Oh, it's because it's from the Donmar and we love the Donmar.
We do love the
That's
Donmar.
probably why we've booked it, isn't it?
Yeah. Right, I've done it. Wow, just in time.
Right.
Okay, so it gets a star rating of 4.8.
Oh, that's good, isn't it?
Very good. Which places it...
At the top of the leaderboard.
Yes. So above the joint lower places of The Process and Sandra
Yeah.
Toksvig's National Treasure.
I should say that unfortunately, due to some
technical
difficulties. We've actually had to miss the last 4 plays we were supposed to go and see.
We haven't missed 4, have we?
Oh no, did I go and see one? No.
Wow.
We've missed.
Not 4.
We missed Dear Evan Hansen. We missed.
We were able to change the tickets.
Death of England, which I was really upset about. We've missed at least one more.
Okay.
I feel like we've missed 4.
We're going to try and see Dear Evan Hansen, aren't we, if we can?
Yes, because I hear it's very good.
Yeah, but that's one of those things.
Yeah.
And this is another one of those things. It's a theatre bell, which means we're out of time.
Okay, well that's a shame.
So, thanks for listening.
Thanks for coming.
The curtain's down, the theatre's dark, and that was 15-minute theatre. Good night.
Good night.
If you're brave enough to have your theatre production reviewed, please contact us at 15minutetheatre@gmail.com. Find us on Twitter and please rate and review us on iTunes. Thanks for listening.